And to top it off, the chords are super easy. Now, there's strum patterns all over the place in this song, so I'm going to simplify it and give us a couple of patterns that'll get through the whole tune and nobody will ever know. All right, so let's zoom in for a closer look. All right, so first off, let's tune the guitar down a half step. And that'll get us in tune with the album. Now, if you don't care about playing with the album, then by all means, keep your guitar the same. And our lesson will just sound a little off, but as long as you pay attention to the chords, you'll know what's going on. All right, now the chords are super basic. In the verse and in the intro, we just have 3 chords. G, a C add 9, which is just like that G chord. All you have to do is bring down your first 2 fingers down a set of strings to the A and D. Use the thumb up here to mute out that low E in case you're not super precise with your picking it. And then one little spot in there is going to have a D chord. All right, so now the strum pattern, what we're going to do is we're going to have 2 strum patterns, and we're just going to use it basically for the first part of the verse. So we'll do 1 strum pattern on 1 chord and a very similar but different pattern on the next chord. Reason being, in the song, right, it's kind of sporadic. It's not a specific strum pattern. So to make it easier on everybody, right, beginners and just strum shredders alike, we're going to stick with 2 patterns. First pattern is going to sound like this. Okay, that's going to be on a G chord. So what I did was, think of this in 3 groups of 3, strums. The first one's going to be 3 downstrokes. Okay, so we got 3 downstrokes. The second one is going to be up, up, down. Okay. The next one is going to be up, down, up. So down, 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 up, up, down, up, down, up. Now if we put all that together, we got. Okay, so that's the G chord. One more time, slowly. Now, when strumming, if this is kind of your first gig at strumming, just keep the arm moving. Try to keep that arm moving. Even though I'm stopping and not going down, up, down, up, down, up, I'm skipping over, but I keep my arm moving, right? So even if I'm not strumming the strings, I'm skipping over the strings, keeping my arm moving, so we have this nice steady flow with this hand to keep the rhythm going. Otherwise, it can be, a rhythmical train wreck. All right, so the C add 9 chord, going to start out very similar, where we're going to do 3 downstrokes, but now we're going to fill in some of those gaps, so it's basically going to be 4 downstrokes in a row, okay? This pattern is going to sound like this. So I went down, 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 up, up, down, down, up, down. Okay, one more time. Down, 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 up, up, down, down, up, down. Now if I put those 2 together, it's going to sound like this. Right, so it keeps it nice and flowy, right? If we don't have another band to accompany us or anything like other musicians or whatnot, So we're going to keep doing that. And we're going to do that 4 times, including the intro. Okay, so G to C 4 times. Now, the next 2 times we do that, we're going to basically cut the length of the time that we're strumming the chord in half. Let me give you an example. I'll just play it. So I'm going to start with one of the normal ways and then go into the next part. All right, so we got. So you can do something as simple as right? Down, 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 up, down, 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 up, down, 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 up, down, 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 up. And then we would switch to D. Now when I went to the D chord, there's a little suspended fourth and second. And all that means is if you're doing a D chord, you may have, this will sound familiar to you most likely because it's in a million songs. What you would do is you would put your pinky down on the 3rd fret, high E. That would be a D suspended fourth. If we went down, back to D, and then now if we took our 2nd finger off so that the high E is open, that gives us a suspended second. Suspended second chord. All right, so we got so what I'm going to do is I go down, 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 and then I would put the suspended fourth on the pinky. Right, so on the upstroke, right, so I'd go down, take it off. So every time I do an upstroke, I would basically take off a finger. I know that first part there just did not make any sense because my brain was saying, okay, this is what, no, it's not what you're doing. So every time I do an upstroke, I'm just going up, down, up, down, up, down. Every upstroke, I'm changing the chord. Okay, so I got. Now when I get back to the D chord, I'm doing an up, down, up. So I got down, 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 up, 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 down, up. And then I'm going to go to the C add 9 chord where we can do the strum pattern, the longer one that we've been doing. And then that would get us into our chorus. So let me play that last whole section. You know, I'll start from where we have the G and the C in the longer form, then to the half, which is basically where you start the pre-chorus, and then we'll get into the chorus. All right, so we got. Where you would go into the chorus. So let's go over the chorus. All right, so the chorus is very similar to the verse, okay? Now, check it out. So in the verse, we had the G, C, long form, and then we did G, C, halftime. We're going to do that basic premise, but we're going to change up the chords a little bit. So the first two G to C's, keep it just like normal, just like in the verse. Now what we're going to do is what we did when we broke it down halftime, where we went. Okay, so we go down, 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 up, down, 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 up, down, 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 up, down, 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 up. Okay, so what I did was the halftime now goes over the G, D, C add 9, G. Then we stay on the G for a normal strum pattern, just like in the verse. And then we end with a down strum on the C add 9. So the whole thing all together slowly is going to sound like this. No, I'll even say slowly. It's going to sound like this. Here we go. Then you go back into the verse. Now, it follows that same basic premise for the rest of the song, but there is a bridge and a solo. So let's go over those sections. All right, so the bridge and solo section are pretty much the same thing. They're very similar. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to introduce a new chord, an E minor, and that's it. All the other chords we use from the progression that we've already done, or progressions. So the bridge is going to sound like this all together. Okay, and then you would go into the solo, which is very similar, but we'll go over that in a second. So we're going to keep the same down, 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 up. Then we would switch to D, down, 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 up. C add 9. And then, so the G would be a little bit different. We can go down, 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 or whatever's more comfortable. Some people like all downstrokes and stuff like that. Or I go down, 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 up. Okay, and all I've done was I've taken my second finger on the 3rd fret, and then we walk down to the 2nd fret, right? Single notes, and then back into the E minor. So it's like a walk down. Okay, so same pattern. And then when we come back to the C, it's going to be on one of those full duration strum patterns. And then we would go into the solo. So one more time in review of the whole bridge. Now, once we go back into the G chord is where the solo starts. And it's kind of like a verse and the bridge put together. So, we got now we go to the bridge side of it. A dramatic pause. And then you go into the outro of the song, which is stuff we've already done. So those are basically the 3 parts. Very simple chord progression. I tried to keep it as easy as possible and give us patterns to play with, because that's the easiest way once we're starting out in music, is to keep it simple and keep a pattern, so we can learn how to do the down and the upstrokes. And then once we, kind of sharpen our strumming skills, we can get more of that sporadic rhythmic thing that's in the song. But this will totally get you by, and nobody except the most diehard fans will even know that, you're not strumming exactly how the song goes.